Assalamualaikum and welcome back to Just Law on IQRA TV. This is the second part to the show. Just before the break, we were looking at the immigration law implications arising from the outbreak of the coronavirus. And one of the things that we were looking at, the concessions that the Home Office has already made for Chinese nationals, for Chinese residents who are in the United Kingdom and whose visas are expiring between a certain period. And as I was saying just before we took the break, that those who are here from China and their visas are due to expire between 23rd of January 2020 and the end of March 2020, as far as they're concerned, what the government has said, and this is quite unique, never happened before, that their visas are automatically extended up until the end of March 2020. Unusual because, as our viewers will be aware, where you have a visa and the expiry date is coming up, you have to, in all cases, apply for an extension, pay a fee, pay the IHS fee and apply for an extension of your visa. First time ever the Home Office has automatically extended the visa of people from China. Now, it may well be that this may apply to people from other countries, from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. Now, it's really a case of watch this space. It may be what that the Home Office may say, look, if you're from these countries and your visa is due to expire between these dates, then your visa will automatically be extended. We don't know at the moment. It's very possible, because if you think about it, there are people here from a number of countries which are affected, and it's difficult to get a flight to a lot of these countries because airlines have stopped operating. Some airlines are operating at only 30-40% of their normal capacity. Some airlines are refusing to fly to certain destinations. So if you are here as a visitor, if you have a visa in another category, a student visa, a work permit, etc., and it is difficult for you to go back within or before your visa expiry date, then you do need to see what the position is. The Home Office may well, as it's done with China, may well automatically extend your visa. Now, if it's the case that the Home Office hasn't made a concession like it has done for China, what can you do? If you find that you are unable to travel because there are no flights going there, or if you're unwell, then the only option that you really have is to apply for an extension of your visa. And the extension would be made outside the immigration rules. An online application would be made. You may have to pay IHS fee, you might have to pay the government fee for the application, and you'd have to explain, look, what are the circumstances which affect you, which make it difficult for you to travel back to your home country. The problem with this, unlike the approach that's been taken by the Home Office of automatically extending the visa, the problem with applying is the cost involved. A typical extension application, the application fee for that will be in the region of 1,050. The IHS fee may vary depending on the level of the duration of the extension that you are seeking. It could be anything from £400 to £1,200. And you only find out when you submit the application, when it automatically calculates what the fee is. But as a minimum, you'd be looking at having to spend in the region of at least about £1,500 if you find that you are unable to travel. My view is that making the application, asking for an extension based on your circumstances, certainly that's a better approach to take than simply overstaying in the United Kingdom. So first of all, see whether the Home Office has made any concessions, introduced some kind of flexibility, like it has done for China, to say, look, in the next 3 months, you don't need to travel back. If it does that, fantastic. If you find that you are still unable to travel, or there's no flexibility introduced for the country that you've actually come from, then instead of overstaying, if you can't go back, you must make an application to extend your visa outside the immigration rules. And I suspect what the Home Office will do in the coming months will introduce some kind of policy to cover this particular situation. So really it's a case of watch this space. If there are problems, there may well be a route, there may well be something that can be done to sort this visa thing out. Now, going back to what we normally discuss in relation to immigration matters, and in particular, we've been looking at over the last few weeks the position of spouses who are in the United Kingdom. We've looked at how you come into the United Kingdom as a spouse. We've looked at extension applications. We've looked at how you apply for indefinite leave after you complete 5 years in the United Kingdom. What I want to look at now is what the position is if you're here on a spouse visa, but you've got difficulties. It may be that there's been a breakdown of your relationship with your partner before you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. What happens in that situation? What are the alternatives? And in our previous shows, we've started looking at that. Now, what are the alternatives if your relationship breaks down? Normally, as an immigration lawyer, what you would look at is the circumstances that you are in. If you have children, you'd potentially look at whether it's possible to extend based on your child, and we'll look at that in greater detail. Another familiar scenario that you come across is where you may not have children, or you may have children, but you're the victim of domestic violence. So it may be possible to extend or apply for indefinite leave to remain based on being the victim of domestic violence. If that's not the case, it may be possible if this marriage has broken down, if you've managed to apply for a divorce. It may be possible, if your visa is still intact, to apply for an extension based on another marriage within the United Kingdom. So those are the common scenarios that you face in practice where there's a breakdown in the relationship. Is there a child? We'll look at that in greater detail. Are you the victim of domestic violence? If this marriage has broken down, you manage to get a divorce, can you look at applying on the basis of a new relationship? Typically, they're the kind of scenarios that you look at when you look at an individual's circumstances. Now, we'll look at that in greater detail, but if none of that works, there may still be possibilities. If there's a danger in you returning to your home country, it may be possible to make an application for asylum to stay in the United Kingdom. If you've overstayed, depending on the length of time that you've lived in the UK, it may be possible to make some kind of application based on long residence. But those are more difficult applications. Let's just go back to what you face on a daily basis, where the relationship has broken down, but there are children from the relationship. In my experience, in the vast majority of cases where there are children from the relationship, the partner who's from abroad in the UK normally should be able to regularize their stay, apply for an extension based on children. Now, you do need to look at your own circumstances. It may be that when your relationship has broken down, the children may be living with you, so you've got residence. It may be that they're not. We'll look at this in greater detail after we've taken our next call. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Hello, walaikum salam. My name is Wasim and I'm calling from Manchester. I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And the question is, I'm going to apply for the indefinite leave to remain for my family.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got 2 kids.
Okay.
And one of them is university going.
Okay.
And he is still dependent on me.
Yep.
I'm supporting all his,
Yep.
expenses and expenditure.
Yep.
And I have basically 2 questions. Number one, I know I can apply, for him with his mother.
Yeah.
But how many proof of addresses we need for him? Number one.
Okay. Yeah.
And then number two, the second question is, we have a 2-bedroom flat with the living room.
Okay.
Which is according to the accommodation law which is considered a third room, and which is enough for 5 people.
Okay.
So do we need to have a housing survey or tenancy agreement, and the landlord letter is enough for the proof of accommodation?
Okay. Your second question is easier to answer. Let me just deal with that very quickly. When you apply for indefinite leave, there's no requirement to submit a housing report. So when you apply for a spouse visa to come to the United Kingdom or any kind of visa, at that stage you do normally get a housing report. But
I did.
The extensions and indefinite leave to remain, there is no need to get a housing report at all. If you're renting a property, you'd normally put the tenancy agreement in. You might put your council tax bill in. That's sufficient. You don't need any more than that.
I'm renting this flat.
100%. A tenancy agreement, a council tax bill is more than sufficient as far as the accommodation requirement is concerned.
Thank you for that.
So, your family at the moment, are they here on the basis of a spouse visa? Or I didn't really...
yes, spouse visa, 5-year-old.
And absolutely no problem. You don't need a housing report at all. Answer the first. Now, the second question, which is to do with your son who is a university student. Now, obviously, when you apply, you put in documentation to say he is a university student. There's no problem with that. Okay.
Yeah.
He is a student. The enrollment letter that they have, etc. So you can put that in. So what you would do normally for your son, you'd say a couple of letters, bank statements or whatever he has on your address, you would put that in. But in the way that you have to show that you and your wife are living together, and you have to show the documents for 2 years. 6 pieces of evidence spread over 2 years. That requirement doesn't apply to your children. So as long as you put some evidence in that the children live with you, evidence in that the son is at university, it won't be a problem. They won't require proof that your son lives with you. Obviously, term time he's going to be at university anyway, so you won't be required to produce evidence of him living with you throughout the year. So it's not a problem.
All right. He's living with me because he's going to a local university.
All right, I understand. Okay. Well, look, I don't think you need 6 pieces of evidence in the same way that you need it for husband and wife cases. But how many pieces of evidence? He will get university letters. He will get some kind of doctor's letters. He'll have a bank statement. He will have something.
Yeah.
So if you want to be cautious, if you want to put 3 documents in from 2000 and let's say for 19, 3 documents in for 2020, that should be sufficient. He should have 3 pieces of evidence.
Yeah, anyway. He already got 5. One is a driving license, one is NI number, and third will be the surgery letter,
university,
and then the bank statement,
university.
And university letter, and the university letter.
That's sufficient. More than sufficient. There's nothing to worry about. Just get something which is spread over 2 years at 19 and 20 or 18, 19, 20. Absolutely fine. I can't see any problems with that. Don't worry about the fact that he's at university. He's still dependent on you. Don't worry about accommodation because they never look at accommodation in any grade. Even a 2-bedroom house with the living room, normally in my experience, that's sufficient space for in the region of 5 to 6 people anyway. So absolutely nothing to worry about. No problem. Thank you very much for your
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your answer.
No problem.
It makes my life easy. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Okay, Slav. Okay, thank you for that. We'll take our next call. I think that call's been dropped. So just before we took that call, we were looking at those people who run into difficulties when they are applying for, when they're on a 5-year visa. Maybe the marriage has broken down. What kind of alternatives can you look at if you're here in the United Kingdom to extend your visa? And what I was saying was, if you're here and you have children, it's possible to apply to extend your visa based on your child. Now, with children, you get different scenarios. Obviously, you as an applicant, it may be that the children live with you. So if that's the case, it's a much easier case. You would simply be demonstrating that the children live with you, and that is normally demonstrated by documentary evidence. On the one hand, you should have some kind of correspondence that the child receives at the home address. it could be hospital letters, school letters, etc. It could be, if they're older, they might have their own bank account, etc. So you would need to prove, if you're applying on the basis that the child is with you, you would prove that the children live with you by showing documentary evidence. If the children are at school, you could get a letter from the school confirming that yes, the child lives with you, you pick and drop them off. If you can't get that, sometimes the children are much younger, not attending school, you could get a letter from the GP surgery confirming that the child is registered and you are registered at the same address. GP might confirm that yes, you do attend surgery, etc. So if you run into problems, you're here as a spouse, if your spouse isn't willing to extend your visa, if your marriage is broken down, based on children, there may be a possibility to extend. Let's take our next call. Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम।
जी भाई, thank you for calling. जी भाई, what's your question?
मुझे इंडेफिनिट के लिए अप्लाई होना है।
जी ठीक है, ओके।
और मेरा पास काम नहीं है,
ओके।
इतना पार्ट टाइम काम कर रहा हूँ अभी।
जी ठीक है, ओके।
तो मेरे लिए कोई रास्ता है अभी कोई?
ओके।
कि मुझे
जी, तो आप काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, आपकी वाइफ वो काम कर रही है या नहीं कर रही है?
वो घर में बच्चे को संभाल रही है।
ऑलराइट, ओके ओके। तो इसमें भी आपके पास वो पॉसिबिलिटीज़ है ना। एक तो ये है कि आपके पास बच्चे हैं, सो वो बच्चे के बेसिस पे भी आपको एक्सटेंशन दे सकते हैं।
इंडेफिनिट मिलती है।
अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि वो इंडेफिनिट नहीं देंगे। वो आप जब अप्लाई करेंगे तो उसके जो फाइनेंशियल रिक्वायरमेंट है कि आपकी इनकम, वाइफ की इनकम, या तो दोनों।
मैं 5 साल के लिए मैंने पहले अप्लाई किया ना, जो पहला साल मैंने अप्लाई किया था ना
जी,
तो उसमें तो मैंने मेरी सारी इनकम दिखा दी थी, मेरे पास काम था।
जी 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 ठीक।
तो 2.5 साल के बाद मुझे फिर से वीज़ा मिली ना
जी,
तो अभी मुझे अप्लाई करना है, पर मेरे पास काम छूट गया मेरा।
तो वो अप्लाई कब करना है आपको? कितना टाइम बाकी है?
3 महीना बाकी है।
3 महीना बाकी है, ऑलराइट, ओके। तो ये हो सकता है कि शायद आपको काम मिल जाएगा और आप पूरे साल की कोई इनकम बता दें। आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि 3 महीना बाकी है, कि 3 महीने में कुछ कर सकते हैं या नहीं। कि अगर काम मिल गया और काम भी ठीक है, और अगर पूरे साल की इनकम आप बता सकते हैं और पैसे हो जाते हैं तो ठीक है। अगर वाइफ को काम मिल गया, वाइफ की भी पूरे साल की इनकम बता दे अगर उसने काम किया है तो ये एक पॉसिबिलिटी है। मगर फॉर एग्जांपल अगर इनकम नहीं बनती आपकी, काम लेट मिला या वाइफ भी काम नहीं कर सकती है, 18,600 की रिक्वायरमेंट आप मीट ही नहीं कर सकते, तो इसमें भी आपको वीज़ा तो मिल जाएगा बच्चे के बेसिस पे। मगर प्रॉब्लम क्या है,
के साल पर जाएगा ना,
ये प्रॉब्लम है कि आपको इनडेफिनेट ये लोग नहीं देंगे, आपको वो 10 साल के रूट पे डाल देंगे। सो अगर आपके 5 साल हो गए यूके में,
मेरी वीकली मुझे वेजेस मिल रही है, तो वो लोग तो 6 हफ्ते की मांगते हैं ना वो।
जी, अगर वीकली मिलती है तो वो 26 वीक्स की वेज स्लिप्स आपको बतानी पड़ते हैं। 26 वीक्स की वेज स्लिप्स
26 वीक की दिखानी पड़ेगी।
अगर आप 26 वीक्स है तो एक
6 महीने के लिए।
हाँ, 6 महीने के लिए। जी जी, अगर मंथली मिलती है तो 6 मंथ्स, अगर वीकली मिलती है तो 26 वीक। मगर एक रास्ता है, ये नहीं कहता कि आपका काम हो जाएगा डेफिनेटली, मगर एक रास्ता है कि अगर आपने अभी काम शुरू किया और आप सिर्फ 10 वीक्स की वेज स्लिप्स बता सकते हैं तो वो भी ठीक है। अगर लास्ट ईयर की भी आप इनकम अगर सब मिलाए और पैसे इनफ हो जाते हैं तो वो एक रास्ता। एक और रास्ता है, अगर आपके फैमिली में कोई बीमार है, आप उसको केयर कर रहे हैं और आपको अगर your वाइफ को केयरर्स अलाउंस मिल जाए तो उसके लिए भी एक डिफरेंट रूल है। इसमें भी काम हो सकता है कि वाइफ को अगर केयरर्स अलाउंस मिल गया, वो किसी
मेरे लेग में हर्ट हुआ, मैं इंजर हुआ हूँ, तो मैं डॉक्टर के पास अगर लेटर कोई लगा लूँ तो
वो नहीं होगा। वो ये नहीं देखते। अगर कोई बीमार है, खुद बीमार है, कोई और फैमिली में बीमार है और उसका लुक आफ्टर हो रहा है, वो नहीं देखते। वो कहते हैं कि आपको खुद को डिसेबिलिटी बेनिफिट मिलनी चाहिए या तो आपको केयरर्स अलाउंस मिलना चाहिए, ये बेनिफिट्स मिलनी चाहिए। तो इससे क्या होता है कि बिल्कुल ये 18,600 का जो प्रॉब्लम है ना, वो होता है, वो अप्लाई ही नहीं होता है। आपको वो बेनिफिट्स पे आप रिलाई कर सकते हैं, या तो आप अगर नया काम शुरू किया तो वो बेनिफिट्स के साथ वो नया काम भी बता सकते हैं, या 6 मंथ्स की इनकम बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती है। तो ये भी एक रास्ता है, अगर आप कोई डिसेबल का लुक आफ्टर करते हैं और केयर्स अलाउंस आपको वाइफ को मिल सकता है, तो ये भी एक रास्ता है। तो इसमें भी आपको पूरे 6 मंथ्स की वेज स्लिप्स बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं है।
अगर आपकी मुलाकात मुझे करनी हो तो आप पूरा मुझे समझा सकते हो, मुलाकात आपकी करनी हो तो कब
जी आपसे
suitable time
कोई
है?
कोई कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। आप मेरा जो नंबर है कंट्रोल रूम से आप ले सकते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। हमारी ऑफिस ड्यूसबरी में है, वेस्ट यॉर्कशायर में। मगर वो आपका वो कंट्रोल रूम वाले आपको मेरा नंबर दे देंगे, आप मुझको फ़ोन कर सकते हैं और इंशाल्लाह आपको मैं ज़्यादा गाइडेंस दे दूंगा। मगर इन दी एंड अगर प्रॉब्लम भी आ गया ना, तो जैसे आपको भी पता है कि आपको इन दी एंड वो एक्सटेंशन तो दे देंगे बच्चे पर, मगर एक दो और भी रास्ते हैं, अभी भी आप कुछ कर सकते हैं जिससे आपको इंडेफिनिट मिल सकता है, और ये कर सकते हैं अभी भी।
पूरी 18,600 ही दिखानी पड़ेगी, थोड़ा बहुत ये कम होता है तो नहीं चलेगा उसमें?
वो अगर आपको 18,600 का लॉ अगर अप्लाई होता है आप पे, तो फिर तो अब बताना ही पड़ता है। अगर मैंने आपको किया ना कि डिसेबिलिटी बेनिफिट्स या केयर्स अलाउंस ऐसा कुछ मिलता है किसी को, तो वो लोग को 18,600 बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। सो दोनों में से एक में आ जाते हैं ना, आइदर बताना ही पड़ता है या तो आप टोटल एग्जाम्प्ट है। हम ये नहीं कह सकते उसको कि लोग 18,600 नहीं है मगर हमारे पास 15,000 है तो इस पे हमको इंडेफिनिट दे दो, वो नहीं, इस पे वो इंडेफिनिट नहीं देते। सो दोनों में से एक कैटेगरी होती है, आइदर 18,600 या तो फिर आप टोटल ही एग्जाम्प्ट है इससे।
जी कुछ नहीं, जज़ाकल्लाह।
जी नो प्रॉब्लम, थैंक यू आपका कॉल के लिए जी, थैंक यू। ओके जज़ाकल्लाह। ओके सो नेक्स्ट विल टेक आवर नेक्स्ट कॉल। हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
जी वालेकुम सलाम जी भाई, थैंक यू फॉर कॉलिंग। जी
जी वकील साहब से बात हो रही है?
जी आप लाइव होने हैं जी, आप क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं जी।
जी मैंने पूछना था, मेरा बेटा है उसने मोरक्कन में एंगेजमेंट की है
जी
तो उसको बुलाना है यहाँ पे। अब ब्रिटेन में ब्रिटिश है मेरा बच्चा, यहीं पे
जी
पैदा हुआ है, यहीं पे एजुकेशन वगैरह जॉब कर रहा है।
जी ओके।
तो उसके लिए क्या प्रोसीजर हो सकता है?
उसने मोरक्को में एंगेजमेंट हुई है, वो शादी क्या कह रहा है, वो शादी करके अप्लाई करेंगे या वो लड़की यहाँ आएगी? और
वहाँ पे मैं ये ऑनलाइन पढ़ रहा था जी कि अगर उसको एज ए फियांसी बुलाता है वो यहाँ पे, तो यहाँ पे वो पेपर वगैरह जमा करा सकता है।
हाँ कर सकते हैं जी।
के लिए वीज़ा किस तरह ले सकता है?
मगर फिर है ना वो फियोंसे वीज़ा होती है इसमें, और फियोंसे वीज़ा में आपको ये याद रखना है कि फियोंसे वीज़ा सिर्फ 6 मंथ की होती है, 6 मंथ की।
जी ड्यूरिंग उस टाइम में उसने शादी हर हालत में करनी है।
जी और शादी करके दोबारा अप्लाई करना पड़ता है यहाँ फुल 2.5 ईयर वीज़ा के लिए। इसमें सिर्फ एक है कि इसमें खर्चा थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा होता है।
अच्छा इसमें खर्चा ज़्यादा? मैं खर्चा कम के लिए पूछना चाह रहा था कि कौन सा बेस्ट वे है? जो
सबसे बेस्ट है ना, अगर वहाँ जाकर शादी कर लेना वो सबसे इजी होता है।
अच्छा है।
क्योंकि समटाइम्स वो क्या करता है कि यहाँ जाकर स्मॉल वेडिंग कर लेते हैं। उसका जो रजिस्ट्रेशन का जो काम है ना, कि उसके जो कोर्ट सिस्टम, उसके वो कोर्ट में वो तो रजिस्टर करते हैं वहाँ मोरक्को में, तो वो रजिस्ट्रेशन कर ले। रजिस्ट्रेशन के वो सेलिब्रेशन नहीं करना चाहते हैं अभी, तब भी ठीक है, मगर वो कोर्ट रजिस्ट्रेशन कर लेना तो इसका फ़ायदा क्या है कि वो नॉर्मल स्पाउस वीज़ा के लिए अप्लाई कर सकेगा, वो सबसे आसान होगा।
ओके
वो सबसे आसान होगा।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। तो आपका फ़ोन नंबर वगैरह मिल सकता है?
जी आप अगर कंट्रोल रूम में जब आप फ़ोन करेंगे ना तो वो आप मेरा मोबाइल नंबर आपको दे देंगे जी। ठीक है ओके, थैंक यू है आपका कॉल के लिए।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
नो प्रॉब्लम, थैंक यू। अल्लाह हाफिज़। So just before we took the calls, we were looking at settlement applications, and in particular, if there is a breakdown of the relationship, unfortunate as it is, it does happen, what can you do? And one of the first scenarios I was looking at is the case of where there are children from the relationship. If there are children from the relationship, it is possible to extend your visa based on children. And if your children live with you, you need to prove that and get an extension based on the children living with you. And they call that a 5-year parent route, as opposed to the partner visa that you would have been on. Even if the children don't live with you, but you have contact with the children, it is possible to get an extension again on the 5-year parent route, but on the basis that you have contact, you have access to your children. And again, there would be evidence that you would need to submit for that. Difficulty is you might need a letter from your partner, ex-partner, confirming that contact is taking place, or you might need evidence by way of a court order confirming that contact is taking place. Let's deal with the common scenario where the relationship has broken down. There are children from the relationship, but the partner who has the children is refusing to allow you to see the children. Very, very common. What should you do? The first thing is you should act as quickly as possible, and indeed you should act before your current visa expires, because if you see a lawyer, your lawyer will advise you on the steps that you need to take. It may well be that what you will need to do is run 2 applications together at the same time in parallel. On the one hand, you will be instructing a family lawyer for you to be able to see your children, what used to be known as making a contact application. Let's take our next call and return to this after that. Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Sir.
Jibe, thank you for calling.
Yeah. It's regarding this. I wanted to ask a question.
Sure. Yep, you're live on air. Please do fire away. Ask your question. Yep.
Okay. We are on visa. Okay, my daughter-in-law, she's on visa.
Okay.
For 5 years.
Okay.
And my son was getting disability living allowance, but now it has stopped.
Okay, understand. Yep.
So what happens to now? We have to reach that 18,600 category?
Yes, you do. It's a common scenario. The problem is if you enter the 5-year route based on being exempt because somebody's on disability, that exemption doesn't carry on.
Okay.
If son doesn't receive disability benefits at the extension or indefinite stage, you have to meet the 18,600 requirement. You have to meet it.
Okay. Now, if
Yep, sure.
Okay, if we don't meet that one,
okay.
For example, we have 17,000 or 16,000.
Okay.
So the balance can we show by?
The easiest way to show the balance is, if it's possible, by way of savings. But let's say the income is 17,000, so the shortfall is 1,600.
Just a minute.
You can show savings, but the savings would be in the region of about £20,000 that you would need to show. So it's possible to add savings to your income, your salary income.
Okay.
Or the second scenario is to show a second job somewhere, even if it's for a short period of time. Okay. But you should try and do something.
What short period time can we say?
So the second job normally you'd have to show 6 months, but it is possible to show a shorter period. But there's a calculation you need to do, where you look at the main job, the second job which is just started, does it add up to 18,600? And then you add up everything that you've earned in the last 12 months. Does that add up to 18,600? So there's a formula that has to be met.
Okay. Now, after 5 years, she will get indefinite or?
Yes. After 5 years, she will qualify for indefinite leave to remain.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, Jazakallah.
All right, thank you very much for your call. Thank you. Wa alaikum salam. Yeah, thank you very much for your call. Okay, let's take our next call. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, you're live on air. Please, if you fire away, what's your question, please?
Okay. What's it regard to my husband's appeal? We see December, May. I just want to find out, we haven't received the BRP card yet. How long do it take?
Okay. Did you?
That's all I'm concerned about it.
No, understandable. Where was the appeal in the UK? Is your husband in the UK at the moment?
Yes, he is with me, yes. In
okay.
the UK.
And obviously the appeal was successful?
That's right, yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, Home Office does two things. It may issue the BRP straight away and not require you to do anything, or secondly, which is becoming more common, is sometimes they write to you and say, can your husband do his fingerprints again? And then issue the BRP. It just depends on when the application was made. So if you had,
beginning of 2019, I think it was April.
April.
He had a BRP, he had biometric
done then.
And then, obviously, we went to the, I think it's a centre, and it all the fingerprints and everything there.
Okay. Then, because the BRP fingerprints were enrolled, or the biometrics were enrolled not too long ago, there shouldn't be a need to do fingerprints and photographs again. The Home Office should issue the card automatically. Now that you won in December, the Home Office hasn't appealed against that decision, have they?
No, they haven't. No.
Okay.
So obviously, they only got 14 days, isn't it?
Yep, that's it.
December and January, February, we are in March now, halfway March.
Okay. In my experience, the BRP would be issued around 2 to 3 months after the visas, after the appeal has been successful. 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, because what happened, they did, because we didn't pay the IHS charges.
Yep.
Obviously, the first work was they refused, and then they refunded the money to us, and then we paid them back again. I think a couple of weeks later.
Okay.
It's probably that could be the reason there's been delay.
No, if there's an issue about the IHS and it's been paid, you know that they're processing it. You know when they send you,
it's paid. We got the reference number.
Did they send you an email and you had to click on it? There was a link and then it took you to the page and you paid it. If that's happened, that's good news. It means they haven't forgotten about you. It means they've taken the steps that they need to take, which is that. Did you pay in time the IHS money? It was paid in time, was it?
Yeah, obviously we paid when we submitted application.
And it was refunded, yeah.
It was been refused, they refunded to us. And then obviously after the decision, and then they sent us an email saying, you haven't paid
here's the link, can you pay it?
Charge.
Yeah.
And you need to obviously pay sooner.
Yeah.
As soon as I had the email received, I'll pay straight away.
£1,000 or whatever it was.
So then they send me the reference number.
Yeah.
It was the same day again.
Okay. You don't need to do anything with the reference number because they check, the system that they have is once the IHS money is paid, they have somebody in Sheffield who actually checks regularly when these IHS payments are coming in. So they know straight away that the IHS money has been paid. Look, if the IHS money has been paid, they've not forgotten about you. I would then say from the IHS money being paid back, probably about 6 weeks to getting the BRP. Did you apply through a solicitor or did you do it yourself?
No, we did it ourselves.
Okay, so you should get the card at home then. I wouldn't worry. It's on his way. I wouldn't worry. Because the IHS money has been paid, I have no doubt it's been processed. I'd give it another couple of weeks, maybe a month. It'll come. Now, if it doesn't come after a month, then the best thing to do is get in touch with your MP and get your MP to get in touch with the Home Office. That normally gets them to do what they need to do to take some action. But I think wait a month. If you don't get it, get in touch with your local MP, get them to contact the Home Office to sort out.
But I did email them at Sheffield.
Probably won't reply.
They didn't respond to me, and I was concerned about it. Why didn't they respond?
No, they don't respond there normally. Did they respond? Did you say they did respond or didn't respond?
No, they didn't. No. I'll send the emails there, and obviously we're still waiting for a BRP card. Trying to travel. The whatever, but obviously they didn't reply.
Home Office is terrible in terms of replying. If you phone the contact number, the contact centre, the number you can get from the website, you don't get any information from them. Most of the time it's a waste of time and money calling them. If you email them, you don't get a reply. If you write to them, you don't get a reply. If you get your lawyer to do it, they don't get a reply. So that's why I'm saying, if within the next month you don't get anything, the best thing to do is go to your local MP, use their services. They always get a reply. Not the councillor, go and see the local MP. But wait a month or so before you do that.
Oh, right, okay. So it's a January we paid, I think it was the 22nd of January I paid the ISS surcharge. So from the January to February.
March. I think if you don't get anything by the end of March or beginning of April, go and see the MP. Okay.
Oh, right, okay. Thanks
Best of luck.
much.
Hopefully
Okay.
it'll sort itself
Bye-bye.
out. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Hopefully that will sort itself out. Now, so just before we took the calls, we were looking at the difficulties that sometimes arise where somebody's here on a 5-year visa, spouse visa, and the marriage has broken down. We were looking at the alternatives open to those people in terms of getting an extension. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We'll look at this in greater detail next week on Monday at 6 o'clock. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.